Bruchim haboim. Welcome everyone. We're about to begin Be'ezras Hashem together on Daf Lamed Amud Beis at the very bottom line. The Gemara previously had brought Rabbi Gamliel how he addressed the questions of a mocking student. Now our Gemara brings how Hillel deals with a person who is mocking him. Says the Gemara, bringing a brisa with a big klal, a klal gadol la'olam yehei odom an v'son ki Hillel. A person should always try to be humbled like the ways of Hillel and not act with sternness like the ways of Shammai. Maise b'shnei b'nei Adam, the Gemara recounts the following well-known Maisa of two people, shehimu ze et ze, two people who wage with each other. Omru kol mi sheyelech v'yaknit es Hillel, anybody who will go and provoke Hillel, Yitel Daled Meo Zuz, he will then take 400 Zuz. Omar Echad Mehem, Ani Aniktenu. I will then Aknitenu. I will then provoke Hillel. I'll be the one. Oisoy Hayoim, Erev Shabbos Hayo. It was Erev Shabbos when the time is busy and everybody's preparing for the Shabbos. The Hillel chafaf es rosh. Hillel was in the bathhouse washing his hair. Holach ve'over al pesach beisoy. The man went in front of the house where Hillel was washing himself. Omar said, Mi kan Hillel. Mi kan Hillel. Now Hillel was the Gadol Hador, he was the Nasi. Everybody knew who Hillel was, and this person is now announcing, who is Hillel? Out loud, who is Hillel? To then denigrate him. Nis'atef v'yotza likrosoy. Hillel went out and he enwrapped himself in the middle of washing his head, and he went to greet this man. Omar loy. Hillel then says to him, Beni ma ata mevakesh. He addressed him as my child. What is it that you would like? Omar loy. He said to Hillel, Sheila yesh li lishol. I have a question to ask. Omar le sha'al b'ni sha'al. Go ahead, my son, ask. Mipnei ma roshein shel Bavaloim segal galois. Why are the heads of the Babylonians elongated and rounded? Now, this is a personal offense to Hillel because he was from Bavel. Aside from that, it was a ridiculous type of question. Omar le, nonetheless, he answered, B'ni sha'ayla gedoyla she'alta. You asked a very big question. Because they don't have midwives that are experts. And therefore, when they take the child out of the mother, they don't then shape the head in the proper way. This person went and he waited some time as Hillel went back into the bathhouse, continued to then prepare himself for Shabbos. Chazar v'omar mikan Hillel. Again, he screams out aloud, an embarrassing, who is Hillel, who is Hillel? And now he certainly himself knows who Hillel is. Nis'ate v'yotza likroso. Hillel goes and wraps himself up. A person's in the middle of bathing himself. It's very inconvenient. He's not yet dressed. He has to then put himself a robe on and then leave. Omar lo, he says, B'ni ma'ata mevakesh. What is that you want? Omar le sha'ayla yesh li lishol. I have a question to ask. Omar le shal b'ni shal. Ask, my son. Ask. Mibnei ma eineim shel trumidoyin trutois. Why are the trumidoyin, their eyes, why are they in circles? Why are they rounded? Omar loy b'ni sha'ayla gedoyla shalta. You asked a great question. Mibnei she Dorim ben hacholos. They live where there is a lot of wind and sand, and therefore HaKadosh Baruch Hu made them in a way that they can then be protected from the windy sand. Holach v'himtin shoachas. The person waited a bit longer so that Hillel would go back inside, continue to bathe himself, and then be inconvenienced. Chazar v'omar. He went and he said, Mikan Hillel, a third time. Nis'ate v'yotza likroso, the same thing repeated itself. Hillel calmly enwraps himself in a robe, goes out and addresses this person. Omar le says, B'ni, Mata mevakesh. What is that you want? Omalei she'ayla yesh li lishol. I have a question to ask you. Omalei she'al b'ni shal. Ask. So he asked, Mibnei ma ragleim shel Afrakim rechovos. Why is it that the Africans' feet are wide? Omalei b'ni she'ela gedoyle sha'alta. You're asking a very big question. Mibnei she'dorin bein bitzoi hamayim. Because they live amongst the swamps. And Kadosh Baruch Hu gave them a certain way that they wouldn't have to then sink into the swampland. So Kadosh Baruch Hu enabled them to then be created in those lands with wider feet. Omar loi. And some say they walk around barefooted and therefore they're not limited to their shoes. Rather, their foot become more widened as a result. Whatever it is, Omar lo, he said back to Hillel, Sha'ailos harbe yeshel lishol. I have many questions to ask you. And here it's Erev Shabbos and there's not much time before Shabbos. But he says, I have a lot of shaylos, a lot of questions. Umisyare anishema tichos. I'm afraid that maybe you'll get angry, trying to provoke Hillel. Nisate v'yoshav lefonav. He doubly wrapped himself, sitting down in front of him, calmly, and he says to him, Amalei kol she'elois sheyesh lecha lishol sha'al. Whatever questions you have, whatever they are, please ask. Amalei atahu Hillel. Shekarin oischa nasi Yisrael. Are you Hillel that they call the Prince of Yisrael? Amalei hein. Hillel says yes. Amalei im atahu. If you are him, lo yirbu kamoischa b'Yisrael. There shouldn't be more like you in Yisrael. Trying to provoke Hillel and get him upset. Amalei b'ni mibnei ma. Why do you say that? He said, because I lost because of you 400 zuz, referring to the wager that he made. He says to this person, you shall be careful in your spirit, in the way that you speak. Kedaihu Hillel shetoivad al yodoi daled meo zuz v'daled meo zuz v'Hillel lo yakbid. He says it's worthwhile that there should be Hillel that should not be makbid, that you should not only not gain 400 zuz, but you should also then lose 400 zuz. And therefore, Hillel's behavior of anava, tremendous humility and patience, that is greater than all. Tanur Rabbanon, the Gemara brings a maisa with the following: Benachri echad sheba lifnei Shammai, a certain person, a Gentile who came before Shammai Hazakin. Omar loy kama toros yesh lochem. How many toros do you have in your Jewish religion? Omar loy shtayim. There are 2 toros that we have. Torah shebichsav v'Torah sheba'al peh. We have the Torah shebichsav, the written Torah, and we have the Torah sheba'al peh, which is a perush of the Torah shebichsav, an oral tradition. Omar lei shebiksav ani mamincho v'sheba'al peh eni mamincho. He says the Torah shebichsav I believe you. However, the Torah sheba'al peh I don't believe you. So he says the Gentile to Shammai, Gaireini amana shetilamdeni Torah shebichsav. Convert me on condition that you teach me the Torah shebichsav. Gar boy v'hitziu b'nezifa. Shammai Hazaken, he was upset and he had him leave with disapproval. In other words, when a person comes to be misgayer, to convert, so he has to accept everything. And this person only accepted Torah shebichsav and Torah sheba'al peh. That's the whole understanding of the Torah shebichsav. The Gentiles that have a Old Testament, but they don't have the Torah sheba'al peh. They don't have the perush. They have no understanding of the Torah shebichsav, bichlal, without the divrei chachamim. And therefore Shammai sent him on his way. Bolifnei Hillel gairei. He came before Hillel, and Hillel subsequently converted him. Yomi Kama, because the first day, Amar lei Aleph Beis Gimel Dalet, he told him the Aleph Beis. Lomachar Ofich lei. The next day, he switched around the order of Tashin Reish Kuf. Omar lei So the prospective ger said to Hilla Hazokin, V'ha esmol lo amarti li hachi. Yesterday you didn't say this to me. You said to me a different order. Aleph, Beis, Gimel, Dalet. Omar le lav olai didi kasamichis. He says, do you not then rely upon me? That you are relying upon me that it was Aleph, Beis, Gimel, Dalet was the order. The alpeh nami samuch olai. And therefore the Toshe ba'alpeh, the oral tradition, you shall also rely upon me. Then he subsequently converted him. Shuv Maise benachri echad. Further, there was another incident with a certain Gentile, Sheba lifnei Shammai, who came before Shammai Hazokin. Omar le gaireni amenashe tilamdeni kol haTorah kulo kishani oimin al regel achas. I want to convert on condition that you teach me the entire Torah while I stand on one foot. Omar loy dochvoy be'emes habinyan shebiyado. Shammai Hazokin sent him away, pushed him away with the measuring stick of a building in his hand. Some say the measuring stick was a remez to the fact that you want to teach the whole Torah on one yesod alone. So he then pushed him away, the emes habinyan. In other words, Shammai was toiling in the Torah day and night all of his life. And he says this person is interested in converting on condition that he learns the entire Torah on one foot. He's not serious, and therefore he sent him on his way. However, this person was still adamant, and therefore, Bolifnei Hillel and Gaire. He came in front of Hillel Hazokin, and Hillel subsequently converted him. He said to him, Omar loy de'aloch sani lechavreich loy sa'avid. He told him the principle, what is hateful to you, do not do to your chaver. Zuhi kol haTorah kula. This is the entire Torah. V'idach perushahu, and the rest is a commentary. Zil gemar. Go and learn it. Now, how does this principle encapsulate the entire Torah? Let's take a look at Rashi, because after all, there's mitzvahs of Shabbos and Kashrus and Shatnes. How does that included in the principle that he said, what's hateful to you, don't do to your chaver? Says Rashi, Dibur HaMaschil, Da'alach Sani, L'chavrech lo sa'avit. What's hateful to you, your chaver do not do. Who is this chaver? Says Rashi, it's referring to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bring a pasuk in Mishlei. Re'acha ve're'a avicho al ta'azoif. Your friend and the friend of your fathers do not abandon. That's referring to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That is your friend and that is your father's friend. He's your loyal friend and your father's loyal friend. Al ta'avor al devorov. Do not transgress your friend, meaning HaKadosh Baruch Hu's words. Shahare alecha sonui sheyavor chavercha al devorecha. Because it will be hateful upon you when your friend transgresses your words, and therefore do not transgress Hashem's words. And therefore encompasses all of the entire Torah, bein adam l'chavei, bein adam l'makom. However, Rashi also brings another perush that's only referring to bein adam l'chavei kipshutoi. Loshen acher chaverecha mamish, your own friend, meaning your fellow man. What's hateful to you, don't do to your fellow man. Says Rashi, kegon gzeila, geneva, niuf, v'roiv ha-mitzvahs. Most of the mitzvahs, he says, are relating to your fellow man, and therefore do not do to your fellow man what you would not want be done to yourself. And therefore, Rubai Kekulo is telling him this is roiv of the Torah. Says the Gemara the following: Shuv Maise benachri echad, another Maise that took place with a certain Gentile, Shahaya oiver acharei beis hamedrash, who was passing the beis hamedrash. V'shoma kol soifer Shahaya oimer. He heard the voice of a malame tinoikos that was saying the following: Ve'ele habigodim asher yasu choshen ve'ephod. And these are the clothing that they will make, the choshen, the breastplate, and the ephod, and the apron. Omar halalu lemi. He said, to whom are these begodim, these types of clothing? Amru loi lekohen gadol. These are the clothing of the kohen gadol. Omar, he said, Oisoy Nachri ba'atzmo. The Nachri said to himself, Eilech ve'izgaye b'shvil sheyasimini kohen gadol. Let me go and become and convert, so that they will make me the Kohen Gadol. Bolifnei Shammai Omar Le Gaireni Almanashe Tasimeni Kohen Gadol. Convert me on condition that I will be the Kohen Gadol. Dochvoy be'emes habinyan shebiyodo. He pushed him aside and sent him away with the emes habinyan, with the measuring stick in his hand. Bolifnei Hillel Gairei. This person came before Hillel, and Hillel subsequently converted him. Omar Le, he said to him, Klum ma'amidin melech elemisha yodeh tachsisei malchus. Are they going to make somebody a king if he doesn't know the various ways of the details of the kingship, of being a melech? Lech lamud tachsisei malchus. Go and learn all of the details of a malchus. Holach v'kara. He went and he learned. Kivan she'igia, once he came to the pasuk, v'chazar hakarev yumas, v'hazar karev yumas, and the zar, the non-kohen, who comes close will die. Omar le mikra zeh al mi nemar. He asked, what is this pasuk referring to? Omar le afilu al David melech Yisrael. They told him even David, the king of Yisrael, cannot be a kohen gadol. Nasa oisa ger kal v'chomer ba'atzmoi. The ger made the following kal v'chomer to himself. Uma Yisrael shenikru banim lamokoim mitoich avo she'ahavam kro karahem bonai. B'ni b'chor Yisrael. That which it says in the Torah, that Hakadosh Baruch Hu loves His people and He calls them B'ni b'chori Yisrael. Ksiv, it says Aleim v'hazar hakarev yumas, and the one who was a non-Kohen will die if he then comes close to the avodah. Ger hakal sheba b'makloi u'b'hatar milisoi al achas kama v'kama. A ger who just comes with his staff and his money belt, certainly he will then be considered to be a zar, a stranger who will then die if he then tries to be the Kohen Gadol. Bolifnei Shammai, so it became for Shammai, Amalei, Klum, Roy Ani Liyos Kohen Gadol. Am I not, certainly not fitting to be a Kohen Gadol? Why don't you tell me? V'halo ksiv, it's in the Torah, V'hazar Karv Yumas. I learned in the Torah that a zar, a non-Kohen, will die. Bolifnei Hillel, he came before Hillel, Amalei Anvason Hillel, Yanuchu lecha brochos al roishcha. Shekarvtani tachas kanfei hashchina. Blessed are you, may blessings be on your head, Hillel, because you then were mekarev me al tachas kanfei hashchina, by being megayer me. Liyomim nizdavgu shloishten lemokom echad. Sometime later, these three geirim came to one place and met each other. Omru, they said, Kaptenuso shel Shammai biksha letardeinu min ha'olam. The sternness of Shammai wanted then to take us out of the world, referring to the world to come. After all, they wouldn't have a portion because Kol Yisrael yesh lahem chelek la'olam haba, and therefore they would have then lost that opportunity of being a Jew in this world and then gaining the everlasting happiness of the next world. Am v'nesuso shel Hillel kirvtanu tachas kanfei hashchina. The humility of Hillel brought us underneath the kanfei hashchina.